All right, guys, welcome to the Media Hijacked podcast. I'm your host, Billy Walters, and joining me is Chris, Unholy Jesus.
What's up, everyone? What's up?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Media Hijacked, episode number 54. Tonight, main topic, we're going to be talking about giants and the Nephilims.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys are somewhat like into religion, or not really, you just know a little bit about religion, you should know about like Nephilims and the fallen angels, because that's like not knowing who Moses is, right? Or maybe it's not as common as that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's common as Moses.
Yeah, it's not. Never mind.
I think that might be like something like if you're a fan of the show, then you would know.
Yeah.
So if you're a fan of religion, then
You
you
know
probably know something about this shit.
You know the character like Jacob,
Yeah, all that stuff.
Cain and Abel.
Abraham Lincoln, all that shit. So you would know
Yeah.
all the people in the Bible. And I guess if you're not familiar with it, you probably wouldn't have any idea about this. So,
Yep.
but that's what we're here for. We're here
Because
to
we all
teach.
know that Jesus died for your sins,
Yes. Something like that.
and Jesus is real.
Yes. Jeez, excuse me. I almost choked just now.
I always knew Jesus held it down.
Yeah, man.
Jesus like, you better stop saying my name.
He was a hippie.
Copy.
I got you.
All right, before we get started, if you guys want to buy some t-shirts, head over to the MediaHijack.com. Grab you an official Media Hijack t-shirt. Go show it off in the grocery store. Chris got it on right now.
Yeah.
Very loyal.
Yes.
Loyal to the podcast. And yeah, go buy a t-shirt. It's nice.
Yes, feels good.
I want to buy two. All right, and then if you guys want to watch the replay to this video, we got the full video up on YouTube right after this podcast, like 2 days later. And if you want to join our Reddit, you join our Reddit and talk some shit. We need some
motion and ocean.
we need
up
something
there.
to talk about on there. Give us something to fight about.
Discussion, suggestions for the show, anything.
Drop some memes, anything that we might think is funny. If it's not funny, you won't get a reward because I'm giving out seal rewards. The happy seal.
The happy seal?
Or whatever that seal is.
I don't know what it is either.
Seal sticker. Yeah. So if you guys drop something, I'll reward you guys. Also, don't forget to rate and subscribe. If you're on iTunes, give us that 5 stars. Frog Splash.
Hell yes.
Give us a comment. Subscribe. 5-star tales.
Please. It helps.
It definitely helps. All right. So we'll get started with these giants and Nephilims. Well, I'll get started with the fallen angels.
Okay.
Because that ties into all of this.
Okay.
All right, so the fallen angels are angels who were cast out of heaven that sin. Like, these are angels that they did bad stuff. Mm-hmm. God was like, hey, you guys got to go. So they were struck down, and that's how they got the name fallen angels.
Mm. So these are the same angels that were like cast into hell and all that? Like,
So I think some
Lucifer
were,
or
like
something?
Lucifer.
Yeah.
Lucifer is an example of a fallen angel, lost his wings.
Morning Star.
Yeah, Lucifer, Morning Star. Yeah, he's one of the fallen. I don't know who else is a fallen angel.
I think it's like I don't know. That's the only one I know. I'm pretty sure there's probably a gang of them out there, but that's the one I'm more familiar with.
Yeah. So like fallen angels, like right when they got on Earth, what they did was they started having sex with humans on Earth, and therefore they had like little demigods, and what they called them.
Giants.
It could be like giants or Nephilims. They're like
Nephilims.
offsprings.
yeah, Nephilims. Yeah.
And their offsprings were looking kind of janky, like evil looking.
Like a half human, half fallen angel.
Yeah, some looks like monsters and stuff.
Yeah, big as shit.
So God was like, damn, they're out there like having sex with these humans, making all these deformed babies. That's wild. And they have powers and shit.
Super babies.
Yeah, they were wild and shit. And so the story was like, after all that shit happened, that's when the Great Flood happened.
Yeah.
To kill all of it. Kill all the giants, kill all the wild, super strong Hercules babies. And here's like what happened was like after all of them died, like the demons, not the demons, like the offsprings, Like their souls still stayed, but they're like in the demon. They're like demons now.
Okay, the Nephilims?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when they died, their spirit became like evil, dark. I'll eat you up alive.
Like, I hate everybody.
Stuck in the demon world. The spirit world.
I mean, I'd be pretty pissed too if I got drowned in a flood.
It's like, it's not my fault. My father's, a fallen.
I'm trying to remember with the story too. I remember reading before saying like that when the fallen landed on Earth, right? Supposedly they made it with the children of Adam or something like that. So they kind of like from Adam and Eve. So they like punished Adam's like children supposedly. That's how it was described and something I've read earlier. But cause I guess it's like Adam and Eve and like pretty much everybody's supposed to be descendants of them on Earth or whatever. So it's like, okay, yeah, you made it with, the first man of mankind with his like offspring and children, all that. So there's your punishment. We're starting all over because this wasn't supposed to happen. I'm gonna bring out the big ass eraser,
Right.
scrubbing all this shit because with God creating like Adam and Eve, he's like, okay, this is my pet project right here, and how it is like a lot of the angels got jealous of humans, like God, like why do you love the humans more than you love me? Like we've been here with you since day one. God's like, you know what? You can't be talking. You're probably get the best of you. You guys are getting smacked down.
Mm-hmm.
So I always felt like one of the stories, like, hey, the fallen angels out of like a kind of got a spite, just made it with humans, so to create abominations. And God's like, you know what? You ruined everything. Fucking flooded. Like I'm bringing out the big eraser. You messed up my plan.
Yeah.
That's I always kind of saw that. It's like, okay,
That's like basically like what happened, pretty much in simple forms.
Yeah.
God was like, man, you guys fucked up my school project.
Flush.
Start over. Get the bucket out.
Let's start from scratch.
Like even like the fallen angels, I don't think they ever saw their father, the God. Like he was so mysterious. Like even they don't even know.
Yeah, they don't know.
It's a voice. They just know it's like
I remember
all one being power.
Yeah, I remember hearing that before too about like with some stories of like they're not even sure who God like what he looks like because they have to believe in God just like how humans down here have to believe. It's just
they were doing shit like they're like, hey, is God testing us? Like they don't even know. Like they're just going through their daily life. Like, damn, or is he testing me? Like, cut off my one wing, I could barely fly.
Looking like Sephiroth. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always wondered, man. So,
you know what I think now? It's just theory.
Let's get into it.
God might be just a fucking computer program.
Oh, he just might be
Don't kill me.
We might just be one of we might just be one of many of his projects. He just started.
Yeah, that's just theory. Cause think about it, like it could all be like one full circle, right? And it's all controlled by an artificial intelligence.
Could be. I've heard stories of where they're saying like, hey, God is like a being who's like treats humanity like an ant farm, and then he just got bored, and then like he's off somewhere else, like
forgot about us.
He's like
he came back. It's like they got iPhones. It's like what the hell happened?
A fucking Tesla. What is this?
I left them with horses. They came back. They have iPhones.
Nukes. What is this?
Like hold on, wait a minute. Who taught them how to do that? Because they're like, who the hell teach these guys how to make bombs like that?
How do they make bombs? Smoking meth? What the?
Because here's like the theory, like on how we got a lot of the shit that we have today. Like there was gods like walking among us a long time ago, right? And some of the gods, they were responsible for giving human beings like mathematics, or chemistry, science,
alchemy, and all that shit.
Alchemy, everything like technology. They're the one that they gift us with that knowledge. Because think about this, right? Without school, without nothing, like you think like me and you could come up with like a math equation to build something that's close to a computer?
Hell no.
I couldn't even do it.
We wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah. So we got gifted with everything like you guys see today.
The remnants of their knowledge.
The geometry and how they were building like buildings using like perfect equations to make pyramids and those big ass monoliths that's perfect angled divided by 5.
What if God like left them there to be like our nanny? He's like, okay guys, this project's cool, but like he's like a kid playing with a toy and he gets bored with the toy and he's like, okay, cool. You guys watch over them. I'm gonna be
who watch over them?
Something like as God's like, okay, like he's like, hey, like create you guys watch over them, teach them all the knowledge and stuff, all this stuff. Like I'm gonna go to the store and like grab some cigarettes and he never comes back. So it's like so now like they're taking care of us, whoever like.
Yeah, like
just watching over us now.
You know how like Egyptians or Mayans, they built like these big ass temples and monoliths and shit, and then out of nowhere they just disappeared.
Yeah.
Like, what if like the civilization that lived there wasn't even like all humans? It was like it's where gods came to like start like a human base for a sediment for the human race.
Oh, I
Because
see
you know how
what
they
you're saying.
said everything started in Africa, which it could be true.
Yeah.
It could be very true. Because what's in Africa? Egypt. So it could all start there. Like the beginning was Egyptians. That's why it's, till this day, Egypt is one of the most mysterious places on Earth.
For real. I be on Google Maps looking at it. I'm like, this shit looks scary as fuck.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's fucking amazing. I can't even imagine like seeing it in real life. I'm just looking at it. I see the little tiny people next to the pyramid. Like, damn, that's big.
Yeah, I be on Google Earth and I'll be going like to street level vision. And I get chills just looking at it. I'm like, looking up, I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
This is so weird.
I saw like this one picture of this guy on Reddit. He went to like a B&B, like a nice looking, house or whatever, all modern on the inside, and in his window view, the pyramids.
Yeah, man. There's like
I was like, that's cool as fuck.
I think it's like Cairo or something. Like it's like a major city next to it, but it's like city and it's like literally like right out there's like pyramids.
Yeah, like city, desert, ancient pyramids.
Imagine that whole city just being on top of like how many other pyramids down there?
Maybe.
They built on top of graves and shit.
Because, I mean, they're saying like that place used to be like underwater.
I won't be surprised.
Because, like, if you look at one of the Sphinx, right? If you look at, like, the paws and stuff, like, the archaeologist, he looked at it, was like, damn, this shows signs of, like, water erosion.
Yeah.
So he looked at that, right? And then he went to, like, somebody who studies that type of shit with water erosion. Like, he zoomed up close in the picture, and then he just sent it to the specialist just to get his take without being biased and shit. He looked at it, he was like, oh, yeah, that's definitely 100% water erosion. Then he was like, oh, okay, then fucking Egypt used to be like underwater.
Fucking Atlantis.
Yeah, like half underwater and shit.
Flooded or either underwater. Yeah, I didn't know about that. That's cool as shit.
Yeah, so you can imagine like what else is under all that sand and shit, all that dirt and sand, because they're still discovering shit till this day. They'll never finish.
Yeah, they'll never. If the Nazis was out there looking for it, there's something out there. That's right. That's what I say, because they was out there looking for shit.
Because there's like this other thing, like where they discovered when one of the ancient tombs a long time ago, they said they saw like this light bulb, right? Looks kind of like a dildo a little bit, but it looks like a light bulb, like it has the little filament on the inside. It could look like a snake and shit. And the story was that when they first opened that tomb and shit, it was lit up, like the lights were still on. And then like they said they saw a hologram of like a guy holding like a spear or something ready to like attack them. But then like all it did was it broke like that light bulb, and whatever came out of it went to the ground, and then it like slithered like into the sand and disappeared. But it was like a light bulb.
Yeah, it was like a creature or something? Or?
I think so, like that can live forever and light up a damn tomb forever.
What did they unleash?
So it's like some type of like super high-tech alien technology that lit up that light bulb for all those thousands of years.
Damn.
That was the story, and they said they
Alien
have
tech.
it like on film. They did like this like secret like TED talk in Egypt talking about the tech that they found and shit. But it's so secret that it's just rumor about it, and somehow I knew.
No, man. Yeah, it's like, so what I was thinking of just now too, we was talking about the pyramids. I was like, what if like giants were back then, like just fucking lifting the bricks and helping them too and shit.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Just slapping these bricks on top of each other.
Like they're the one that's hauling all those big ass.
Yeah, just carrying them like in a backpack.
Yep.
Big ass bricks, man.
Because those giants, I mean, they can be like from 15 feet to like what I heard, like rumor, to up to like 35, 55 feet tall.
Yeah.
I was like, goddamn beanstalk Jack in the Bean.
For real. There's like this dude I was like kind of following earlier. His name's like Hugh Newman. Right? He's like this, like, I guess you want to say he's I want to say leading expert, but he's like the type of dude that like travels around the world with whatever money he's amassed. I think he's like Australian too, but he just travels around the world and tries to like uncover like secret civilizations and shit like that. That's all he does. Like,
On YouTube?
he's done some YouTube videos, and he came out with a book. It's called Giants on the Record. That's the one that mainly talks about with the
Wait, what's his name?
Hugh Newman.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he's like
Sound
Australian.
So he goes around like
just like
on those big monolith sites.
She just goes everywhere looking for like lost civilizations. And I came across something earlier when you were talking about with giants. What you talking about like the mythology with giants was like with how, you know, even though it started with like Norse mythology and all this other stuff too, they've been around since like 10,000 BC. That's what he's saying. But he's saying like with these giants though, like they came and did like different ways. Like, so if it's like maybe an Icelandic area, so they're like ice giants, or they have like other types of giants depending on the location. That would be like, say, a tropical giant or some shit, or a mountain. Like if you have giants that live inside of a mountain, they would like have caverns that go everywhere.
Yeah.
But he would like mountain giants or some shit like that. And he was talking about like how the locations he's gone to, one of the few locations he's been to where he didn't see any signs of giants being like setting up civilization there was like South Africa. But he said he came across bones of like up to like maybe 14 to 17 feet tall.
Damn.
Giants. But when he came across these bones, they were wearing like some kind of like fancy bracelets and jewelry technology. And I was like,
What?
I was like, jewelry technology, like, are they like beep,
What
boop,
does
beep,
that
boop,
even
boop?
mean?
That's what I was trying to understand when I was reading. I was like, jewelry technology, you mean like jewelry itself is technology, or is it like high tech jewelry? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but but it was never really explained. But he's like,
Black Panther shit.
that's what I was thinking. Yes, but he's like the ones that he discovered out there, they weren't necessarily living there. They was in South Africa for like mining and stuff like that. So there was like mining giants at some time too. So crazy shit like
like
that.
they got pictures and shit.
That's what I was trying to look for with pictures, but he's just talking about like just with his notes and his discoveries. Like I gotta dig more into this shit because
I've seen like a lot of pictures too, where to me it looked like authentic and stuff. But I mean, I can't verify.
nah, I can't. I don't have the eyes for it.
But it did look real, and if it is real, it's huge. Like
Yeah.
the bones, the fucking head structure it's just too.
Big ass head.
Fuck, that was so scary if you see that shit walking on the street.
Man, yeah. I always wanted to like giant, like people who have what's that disease? They call it, like giant syndrome or something like that. Like whatever it is, like
Monster syndrome.
is that what it is? like the world's tallest man, I think it was like 9 feet tall or something like that, maybe 10 feet.
Was it the Asian guy?
No. He's like a white dude, I think. No, he was white, but he's like from Europe or some shit, I think. But he's like the world's tallest man at one point. But he died at an early age.
Yeah.
Like I think like in his early 20s because he wound up getting these blisters on his feet and they wound up getting infected and he wound up dying from the infection. I guess it's like he was putting too much weight on his feet, so he's walking around like
Should have laid down.
that's a lot of fucking weight to be moving around. I was always wondering, like earlier I was wondering too. I was like, yo, what if they're descendants of giants, but genetically they can't really make it anymore? Like,
Right.
because like this shit doesn't work in our body no more. That shit is,
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't work.
doesn't compute. Like it's just like
It's like Superman being stuck in our body.
yeah, but he can be shot,
Let me out.
but he can be shot and killed. Like
So he had like that fucking genetic blood into like a regular human body, but still the body was able to grow like giant size.
in a human body,
Yeah.
and it just didn't work.
Damn.
Yeah, because they say like because what he was talking about before when I was looking up Hugh Newman's interviews and all that, they was asking him about hey, so like with these giants, like how tall do they get? He's like, on average, he's like 7 feet is like their runt size of like their.
That's the baby.
That's the baby one. That's like
Little
Shaq.
baby.
That's like Shaq size.
Damn.
So that's like Shaq is like a baby considered to them. And he's talking about like the ones he's seen on record. Some people would say like maybe 20 feet tall, but it's like the biggest one he's only found I think was like 18 to 17 feet tall. But he's heard stories of people discovering like bigger skeletal structures out there.
Damn.
So he's finding like some baby shit, but still bigger than us. But it was pretty dope. I was like coming across a lot of his stuff, and
all of it he found in like Africa.
yeah, just around the world. Because he was saying before where there's sometimes referred to as Jotun.
Jotun.
There's like a Jotun. This thing that can come in many forms, like frost giants, fire giants, and mountain giants. And basically, like you said, like pretty much they like live throughout. At one point, they was living in almost every region in the world. So it's like, hey, yeah, you're a desert giant or some shit.
Like a chocobo.
Yeah, some shit. Yeah, they got like a chocobo. Yeah,
Is there a water
different
giant?
breeds.
A water giant that can walk through Atlantic Ocean?
It should be, but I think the closest one you got is a frost giant. So
Oh.
it's got an ice giant supposedly.
Now they got the little what's that shit name? Abominable Snowman.
Yeah, he's like a little one. He's a little guy.
He's the gatekeeper.
Yeah,
He's the gatekeeper.
He's
If you get past him, you get to see
you see the big ones.
big dog.
He's got the shittiest job. He's got to watch over us.
He run fast too.
But I always wondered that, like, another thing too is like with Bigfoot and all that, like, what if they're like descendants of like
Could be
giants too? But like
But
they're
Bigfoot, I don't know. I think it's just a fucking interdimensional time traveler now.
He
He just slips in and out of
Just
like
like-
all dimension, like showing off like his like a multi-dimensional.
Hey guys, I'm here. Doop.
Psych, I'm out.
And so, like, I actually do think Giants was legit. If anybody's wondering if I think this is real, only reason why is because I think in this universe that we live in, there's always a balance. Like if there's black, there's white, good and evil, short, tall. And so you have like tribes back in the day where there was like pygmy tribes, like tiny people.
Yep, the whole
and,
island.
A whole island of tiny people. And then
How do you explain that? That's weird.
and I'm like, well, if there's tiny people, wouldn't there be fucking really crazy ass tall people?
Wouldn't
Why
there be
can't-
an island with fucking giants?
giants? A giant island?
That's a scary island.
Yes. They would fuck you up.
You won't ever catch me on a boat looking for an island.
Hell no. Not like no Jupiter Legacy type shit.
Yeah, this ain't no fucking Gilligan's Island.
Like, I'm not going. They can have it.
Fuck that.
Maybe they can't swim. Cool. Let them stay there. I don't want to.
If you like start going crazy, telling me I gotta go on a mission and I gotta get on a boat, go to an island, I'm like, good luck, Chris.
I wish you the best. I don't even like the ocean.
Just fly back when you're done.
So, take good pictures.
Wait, did you see all of Jupiter's Legacy?
Yeah, I finally finished it last night.
It's so good.
It's good, man.
I like it.
I did like it.
I thought it was gonna be kind of comedic, but it wasn't.
Nah, man, it was straight. It was pretty like, hey, we found aliens and.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, spoiler alert! Like, yeah,
I think I did kind of spoil it too, but I was speaking like differently.
I thought it was kind of cool. I was probably more interested in what was happening in the past than I was in present day superhero shit. I was like, I've seen all this before. Let's get back to this island shit. Like, why you seen your dad all smashed up?
I was like, how are they gonna get their powers? Tell me.
I was more interested in that story. That was pretty dope.
But speaking of giants and streets, right?
Yeah.
Somebody on Google, they went on Street View. They went to some Middle Eastern country and they looked at the street. I don't know what city it was, but you could see a giant walking with normal clothes on, he has a suit on,
Trying to
but
blend in.
like the size of like the human in the picture is like half an inch, and this giant is like almost like 2 inches.
wearing-
in the picture.
And he's wearing regular people clothes.
Regular people clothes, like it looked like he almost had a suitcase, like crossing the street, but he's huge, ginormous.
He's like trying to fit in. So
Yeah, but I think like that town, like they know that giants exist. Like for example, Iraq. If you want to get to that story,
yes, I do have a theory about if you read my mind a little bit.
we're gonna get into the Iraq story where
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan,
Yeah.
where it was like modern day military in 2000s.
Yeah.
And they came across a cave which happened to have a fucking huge giant.
Big motherfucker.
But I'll let Chris explain the story.
All right. So this happens back in like the story is known like a lot of story. This story is pretty much known as the Giant of Kandahar. Happened in Afghanistan in 2002. Right now, this is an account of a guy who never fully released his name, but
And he's in the military.
he was military. He's like special forces. His name was like he only released his name as like K, and he released it like sometime I want to say till maybe like 2016. That's when he kind of like blew a whistle on it about this whole situation.
Yeah.
So the story is because Afghanistan. This is after 9/11, so this is like shit's popping off.
After 9/11.
After 9/11, folks. So they sent in American troops over there to do God knows what. Shit's all crazy. They sent them over to Afghanistan because there was an army infantry troop that was walking a trail up in the mountains that went missing. This army team never called anything over the radio saying that we were attacked or anything like that. Because like the area they was in the red zone, which means it's like fucking everybody's this combat zone, right? But nobody ever got a call from it. So K, who was I think it was like Army Special Forces or something like that. They sent in a group of people who was also Special Forces down there to go to the location where the Army infantry group was gone missing at.
To find out what happened.
To find out what happened, to do a little bit of investigation. And so they was already kind of like, on their on their toes and all that because they already had to go and it was hostile. So it was like fuck anybody. They may have gotten ambushed by whatever terrorist cells out there. Locals may have snitched on them, said like, hey, they're up in the mountains. You never know. So they was on their shit.
That had to be scary. Like going to a place knowing that there's like the group of people in the military went missing, and then you have to go find out what happened.
Because from my understanding, I think a lot of them, their mindset was already thinking like they're dead.
Yeah.
So we have to like make sure we don't get ambushed like how they did, because they're probably expecting for them to send like a recon troop out there to go check on their missing troops. So They wind up going out there, and they're going through the mountain range and all that, right? And I can't remember if it was Kay or somebody else, but it was describing like how when they was there going through the mountains, it felt like they was like on another planet. Like it just felt like so just mountains, like never ending. And so they're going through the mountain, and once they get there, they wind up they see like a goat trail, and they're like, hey, like let's follow this goat trail up further up the mountain, like a goat trail, because there's a shit ton of goats in Afghanistan. They like you'll see videos of pictures on YouTube or just on the internet. You'll see a goat standing on the edge of a cliff. You're like, how the fuck he get there? But it's like
Mountain climber.
it's mountain goat, man. But they just make trails a lot when they walk through the forest and all that.
I'll eat that goat.
I would too. Probably some strong meat.
Kill him with a slingshot.
So they walk following the trail up the mountain, right? They're going up the mountain, and they start seeing like discarded equipment. Like they found like a radio box, and then like the antenna was like over there somewhere on the ground.
That's a scary movie.
They found like some torn up uniforms, and they could tell like it was their uniforms too, because like
Because it says USA on it.
that, and also too like maybe like somebody's like name tape, or sometimes like you'll slap like the American, like because it's like Velcro on arm. I don't know if it was like that back then, but it was like the American flag on arm type shit. So
And it was upside down.
Upside down. No, it wasn't.
You'll get in trouble for that, right?
Probably. I'm almost guaranteed.
Light them up.
So they're going through all this stuff, and they're like, okay, shit's getting kind of weird now. And as they keep going up the trail,
how big was the group though of the special force that they sent?
it had to be like I'm not sure the number, what it was. It was never disclosed. Maybe probably for like some kind of government top secret reasons or whatever.
20 maybe, you think?
So I was thinking probably about like maybe 10.
Whoa.
20 might be too much. Military ain't gonna pay for that shit, not to find no people.
Special forces is really strong then.
I would say either 10 or 8. Like I don't think it would be 20. 20 would be.
Damn.
Military ain't spending all that money to find people now.
So they were good at Apex Legends then.
I would assume, yes. Yeah, they were fucking
like top tier, like the fucking
running around like Octane.
MLGs and shit.
But so they're going up the hill, and then they start noticing bones on the ground after that. And they couldn't tell if they were human or animal, but it was clearly bones. They seemed like fucking being like just snapped in half bones.
Not animal bones.
Nah, they couldn't tell. They couldn't tell if it was animal or human. But because it was like they saw a human skull, they just found like maybe like leg bones and arm bones. But it was like, fuck, it's bones for sure. That's all we know. And so they keep going up to the cliff. They keep going up to the goat path, and they eventually get to like a plateau. Mm-hmm. And when they get up there, they're like looking around, and they see in front of the cave more skulls. But on top of the plateau, there was like maybe like 5 or 6 different like entrances, but all the entrances came out towards the plateau.
Oh.
And so they were seeing bones and shit all in front of it. And now the guy who gets killed in the group, his name is Dan, right? So they stand in front of the cave. I think they're trying to radio back to like, hey, like we just seeing some wild shit, da-da-da. And then I think Kay says he noticed something moving in the shadows in one of the caves nearby. Yeah. Like he caught a glimpse of out the corner of his eye. And as soon as he looked, a spear came flying out. Fucking hit this dude named Dan. Like hit his
Not
ass.
a little spear, right?
Big ass spear. In fact, like I think it was described as a lance, which sounds fucking even crazier. So he gets hit by it, and then they all like he talks about like how like everybody just like completely did just stop. Nobody's moving. Everybody's just kind of like, what the fuck just happened? Dan's on the ground like fucking lance sticking out of him.
One shot
his ass. And so when Kate goes over there, he says he tries to pull the spear out, but it won't get out. So dude's on the ground dying, can't get the spear out of him. That's when the giant comes walking out.
Fuck.
And they say like when he came, they say he was wearing like some kind of like weird ass garb or whatever. But the first thing they noticed was like he smelled like dead bodies. That's the first thing they noticed. Like, oh, you stink, motherfucker. Like
he big and he stink.
You smell horrible.
From what I remembered from the story, like the outfit he was wearing was like something you would wear like medieval times. Like
yeah, it was like some kind
old
of garb.
school clothing. Like they never like bought modern clothes.
No, they never stepped up, man.
They just stuck with whatever they knew how to make back then. Because aliens, they didn't give them like math problems to solve, so they never evolved like their brain.
Or maybe they just been hiding the whole time, just like fuck it, man.
They're stuck on savage mode.
and that's what they like, you know, because they say when the giant comes running out, he's like screaming or whatever. And they said like it took them 30 seconds for them to put the giant down. And the guns that they had with like special forces guys, the weapons that they had like an M4 submachine gun, that had 308 and 7.62 recon carbines, which are like semi-automatic rifles. And they had a Barrett 50 cal sniper rifle, which were like those rounds are so powerful where, say if I shoot you with a Barrack 50 cal sniper rifle, it misses your head and it'll still blow your head off.
Damn.
Because that's so much force coming out of it. So
Whoa.
that and for some people that may think that 30 seconds is that's pretty short. Imagine getting your ass kicked for 30 seconds or being shot at for 30 seconds. Feels like a lifetime.
Right.
So they're like shooting and shooting and shooting for about 30 seconds, and then eventually the giant just winds up falling over and dying.
Yeah, because I heard like they actually shot him in the fucking head with something.
I would
where
have.
it blew like half his head off.
I would have.
And like this giant, like the way they describe him, he had red hair. He has 6 fingers.
Yeah, 6 toes.
And he has 2 rows of teeth.
Yeah.
Like maybe he's on Attack of Titan, you see like one row and then another row.
Yeah, right after that.
Yeah, and he was huge. How big did they say this guy was?
Let's see. They were saying before. I just passed that shit too. I saw it. Okay, so they
12
saying
feet, right?
Yeah, 12. Yeah, 12 to 15 feet, and he was 1,100 pounds with a scarlet.
1,000 something pounds.
Yes, scarlet colored hair, 6 fingers instead of 5. The witness K and his team were sent to a remote area to search for patrols. Okay, yeah, whatever. But yeah, so like they wound up having to like get all them like they just looking at the body like 6 rows of teeth, but the 2 rows of teeth. But you know, I realized too recently, actually right before I came over here, that's actually like a genetic like mutation that some humans do get. They have like a row of teeth, and they have like 2 and 3 after that.
I seen it.
I saw a picture earlier. I was like, so what are you like descendants of giants or some shit, or what?
Probably got like a little accident DNA
for the teeth, just for the teeth though.
Because that is weird how like out of the blue, one of these kids would come out with double row teeth.
And it's like, that should have run in our family. Well, it probably goes back thousands of years or some shit. You never know.
Maybe like the giant, they're trying to make a comeback.
Slowly.
Like sliding a little bit of their DNA. Like, hey, we got to come back, guys. Try to, get our giant blood back.
Hey, people are getting taller now.
Are they?
But I was watching this thing. I was reading something yesterday. That was talking about giant discovered in, I can't remember if it was Thailand or some shit, but it's a giant that was discovered, right? But the person that they was describing was a giant was like, I think 72 inches tall, something like that. Like 5'8". The giant was my height. But I was like, that's not a giant. But back then, it might have been considered a giant to those little people. But 5'8" was supposed to be like fucking giant to them.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, now it's like 5'8" ain't tall anymore. It's like 6 foot or higher for a lot of people. And like, what if it's just like slowly coming back? People just getting taller and taller.
Man, all the giants, they're in the NBA. That's where they are.
That's it. They're farming them, man.
Yeah. You guys want to see giants? Go to a basketball game.
Scalp these tickets. But yeah, so after they lit his ass up and all that, he's laying on the ground. And they're calling over the radio like, hey, like, fucking Dan's down. Just big motherfucker just ran at us. We need some people out there.
Huge biceps.
So they wound up grabbing everybody, grabbed Dan's body, took it off somewhere. And they grabbed like 2 helicopters, lift up a fucking Gigantor's ass.
Yeah, I remember I saw like the picture that like an artist drew of what he described. Huge, like they had the helicopter, right? The big ass helicopter, and it struggled to like airlift this dead body of a giant.
Yeah, so they get the second one. They had to get us 2 helicopters to lift his ass up, and that was the last time Kay said he saw that giant ever again. And so after it was all over with, he had to go do like this. Is what happens when you like.
They had to brief you on like what you can talk about and shit.
Yeah, well, also too like you have to do this thing called like an after action report.
After action.
Yeah, after action report. So it's like, say if you're involved in a firefight, or something where people have to do an investigation about, you have to do an after action report, and basically you have to fill out like every detail of the account from beginning to end. They want you at an approximate time this happened, all this other stuff, like just basically like a witness statement, just everything that happened. And so when him and some other special forces guys, when they filled out their forms, their higher ups brought the forms back, was like, look, we don't like the story.
Whoa.
You guys need to change it up a little bit because we need to, basically they got coerced into changing their story. So like, hey, we'll leave all this other shit out. Say you guys got attacked by like Taliban or some shit or whatever is in the mountains.
Like why though?
Shit, they don't want this like a giant living out in the mountains. Like that would be. And I thought about this too. Why would they cover it up? And being somebody who's been over in the desert and all that, and just over in the Middle East and whatnot, I thought about it. I was like, it's already hard enough to get me over there to want to just deal with regular people.
Yeah.
How are you gonna convince people to keep joining the military and fight over there if you find out there's fucking giants running around?
Oh yeah.
With spears. Right. It's kind of hard to like
Like, oh yeah, don't watch out for that giant.
Keep that war machine going, you know.
Like, what giant?
Also, too, I have a theory too. I think that giant was probably living there for like forever, and probably the villagers or anybody nearby knew about it. They know.
The locals know.
They know, and there's probably one of them things like old world shit. It was like, you know what? And you know, if you don't want this giant to come down here eat our kids and shit, we gotta like give him sheep and stuff like that, all right? And maybe he'll like protect us, you know, whatever. Offer up a sacrifice to watch over us, and you know, we'll give him sheep to like eat or whatever, or send some fucking trick some American troops to go in the direction to go.
We killed like a giant,
and they took out their guardian. That's what I was always thinking.
Damn it, man! We had a good thing and then we killed it.
Straight up. But that's all I was always wondering with this story. I was like, what if that town? I was like, he watched over them, protecting them and all that stuff. But only if, hey, give me whatever you guys got, sheep or whatever. I'll eat it, and I'll be like your Godzilla for you to fight other monsters that come through. And he gets taken out by some fucking special forces dudes.
Modern weapons,
yeah. You can uphold against it, man.
The giant didn't see that coming.
He should have built.
Like, what the fuck?
After they killed that first group, he should have been like, oh fuck, I need to like put some armor on or some shit.
It's like, fuck. Damn it.
Yeah, so they wound up doing an after-action report, and they wound up getting coerced into changing their story. Story gets changed, and it's a simple cut and paste type story. Like, hey, like, the guy was attacked. They were attacked. No, actually, no. They wound up changing the story with Dan, because Dan, like, what it was, I think when people started asking questions about it, I think it was either to the CIA, whoever the fuck it was. The CIA was like, oh yeah, there was a Dan who died that day, but he died in a training accident.
What?
But you know, but that whole other shit happened. That's not true. But there was a Dan that died that day. So the guy K is like, see, that's right there, like that guy Dan they're talking about. That's the one who got killed by the lance, the spear. Yeah. So now it's like the cover up now is like, Dan did die. He was a real guy. They're not trying to disprove that. They're just saying like, helicopter accident. The end.
That's so dirty, man.
And that's why he started whistleblowing, like, bro, this is not what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
Because they did, like you said before, too, they did have to fill out, like, a non-disclosure agreement, too. So, cause if they say something, then you're going to get hit with a lawsuit or some bullshit. Or
Yeah, I kind of heard him tell his story, like, on the radio. I think maybe he was on Coast to Coast also. Mm-hmm. He was under, like, a voice disguiser also and shit.
Oh, shit.
And he was telling a story, like he couldn't like live with himself pretty much because he was like tormented by like the shit that he went through. Yeah. And then he went to like some Native American place, and I don't know what he did, but then he felt like the spirit, like I don't know if it went in his body or he felt something that he felt like he had to tell people about this shit because it was just eating him up alive. And that's when he started doing the whistleblowing and started saying, hey, I need somebody to interview me. I want to tell you my story of what happened in Iraq with giants, real living giants. Mm-hmm. Huge. That doesn't make sense. Like in our modern world, giants are not supposed to exist.
So you think whatever like trip he went on kind of like woke him up to like, hey, you gotta like, you can't hold this anymore. You're gonna drive yourself fucking crazy if you keep it in.
Yeah, like he was almost like on the verge of, I don't know, maybe suicide and shit because he's like, I can't take this no more.
He's like, man, nobody believe. Like imagine seeing some wild shit like that and then nobody believes you.
Yeah.
Like, I hate when people don't believe me over like stupid ass little shit. I'm like, man, I'm not lying. Like, chill out. Like,
yeah.
If I saw something like a big ass giant, I'd be pissed too.
Yeah, if you heard like his story, like how he explained it, how his emotion was and everything, you're like, no, it's like no way this guy is telling like a fake story. Like the story that he told, you can tell like he went through something. Mm-hmm. Like you can hear like in his voice like the fear that he felt when he went through the cave and shit and what he had to deal through. How he described it, 6 fingers, the smell, everything. He's from the clothes and
the teeth.
He said he heard rumor that they shipped the giant to like a base in Ohio.
Oh.
That's what I kind of remembered.
I kept thinking Utah just now.
Utah.
It's one of them but it might be Ohio. I can't remember.
It's one of those 4-letter ones.
Yeah, but they dropped them off at some kind of location.
It might be Utah.
They probably cloning them, trying to make like super soldiers.
Yeah.
Like they did in Invincible. Like they did like this shit where in the TV show Invincible, they were this dude, he was like a college student named D.A. Sinclair, that's just his name or whatever. He was kidnapping college kids at his campus and he was like basically like Frankensteining them in the sewers, like in his own lab. And he was turning them into like almost like Terminator type shit. But he was run out there doing all his whole bidding and all that. But anyways, as the series is gonna go on eventually, you'll see that like they're gonna start using like American dead troops' bodies to start creating like Terminators and stuff like that. But it's like,
Shit.
man, that's probably I don't put nothing past any government. If they find something, they'll flip it into something to be used for war.
Yeah, they'll like pick at the giant's DNA, see what they can use on regular humans. They'll use it with the CRISPR technology.
Oh,
And then they'll put like, they'll test it out on newborn babies, see if they can give them like fucking giant syndrome.
they're gonna do it to poor babies at first though. Poor babies when they
I think at this
once it gets
point, I don't think
refined.
they even care anymore.
they just like everybody must go.
So, hey, kids, they gotta take this new vaccine. And then like, the babies, they take a whole bunch of vaccines. Maybe some could be like in some states, like some of the vaccines are like little test runs of them using giant DNA. Maybe, man.
Trying to create super soldiers.
And then
Man.
they'll, they keep it like in that little area. And then in another part of a different state, they test a different type of vaccines on kids, see how they come up, and they just study those kids.
So with the giant DNA, they're like, okay, we're tracking these kids now who the giant DNA is working with them. Now we need like those subliminal messages around them to join the military or some shit. Like, watch commercials like, it's like fucking sleeper cells,
Like
man.
20 years later, like oh shit, all our little babies, they're on TV playing basketball. Like it worked out.
All these giant babies.
Yeah, they make them like fucking superhuman and shit. Like maybe like LeBron James, one of them.
Yeah, it is.
He kind of look like a giant. Like if you give him red hair, he might be a Kandahar giant.
I say put a red wig on Shaq. He would
Him too.
imagine somebody just I wouldn't want somebody of Shaq size running up on me. So imagine like 14, 15 feet. Somebody's like, oh fuck.
That's a lot of torque.
For real.
That shit's gonna hurt.
Get your 6 fingers off me, freak. Nah,
Closes
but
your mouth, but then like the last finger is like
just
touching your throat.
So this guy too, Hugh Newman. So he went on with like a lot of like stuff in this interview. I'm not gonna read the whole interview, but it was some pretty good answers I thought he was giving for the most part. He's talking about like how like they was finding like these giant long skulls, but they're not giants. Like they like he was like starting to find these skulls that weren't like giants like not. I guess what he was imagining would be definitive as a giant, but he was finding like skulls bigger than normal people, and he talks about the why he's like we kept finding like bigger and bigger skulls. It's like holy fuck, like is this shit never gonna end? Like these heads are getting larger, and why are we finding this long ass like fucking arm? Like what is it like with no body
Yeah.
attached to it?
Like what's weird is how they don't show like officially like on a Discovery Channel. Is it Discovery Channel?
Which one?
Like where they show documentaries on like Egypt and shit,
Oh, History Channel.
or History Channel.
Yeah.
Like they don't like what their findings with these giant skulls.
Mm-hmm.
Why they don't ever show them in those documentaries like on TV?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. He was actually talking about before too. 'Cause actually, I don't know. Why don't they show him?
You think because it would like they would have to, I don't know, like rewrite some shit in science.
Yeah, or the Bible. I mean, you don't know what the
I mean,
science,
they're in the Bible, but
everything.
Science don't believe in the Bible.
Nah.
They're like, what?
The,
Adam and who?
You mean evolution?
But here's like this. I came across like this one meme where they're saying like how humanity started and stuff. You know how like for Christian or church guys, it's Adam and Eve. Like if you look at the Egyptians and what they think of how it all started, they said it started with like one Egyptian guy. His name was Atum, like Atum,
Okay.
and he came from like they made him from dust and stuff, which is similar to the Adam and Eve, right? Adam and Eve, they God created with the clay and whatever. And then scientists, everything that makes up like the human body and everything around us, atoms, atoms. Like we're all made up of atoms. So it's like, okay, scientists, they got their own way of explaining it, and they just happen to have the same word. That we came from
I never thought of that.
Adam, and then Adam and Eve.
We're all made up of atoms.
Yeah. And then like what are the odds? Is that a coincidence or something?
They knew what they were doing.
I was like, oh, okay, so everybody's on the same page.
They knew exactly what they was doing that. Like,
Right.
hey man.
And like science, it came from like fucking the gods gave us that shit. So they're like, hey, all right, these are called atoms, right?
Yeah.
They gave them the what's that periodic table and
With elements and shit.
element table.
Yeah.
They taught them chemistry, taught them how to fucking make water out of wine.
Hey man. alchemy, man. That's all alchemy to me.
You know who's fucking huge in alchemy?
Oh.
Like who mastered it?
Crowley?
Chinese people.
Oh, I thought you were talking about one person.
The Chinese
not
Empire.
people.
They said they're so fucking advanced with alchemy.
Even right now?
Yeah, they're like, man. Someone was saying like China might be like 500 years ahead of everybody else. Like as far as like with alchemy and with magic, if you believe it or not.
Yeah.
Like they're so far. They're deep in that shit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, think about it, as the world grew, like as humanity grew older, like a lot of that shit from the past gets left behind. A whole lot. And then some people, they hold on to it.
Like medicine too. Like Chinese, their medicine shit is so fucking far advanced, man.
I'm not surprised to hear about this because I remember hearing stories about almost damn near modern day. They would still have like dynasties going on in China and shit like that. It might still be going on now for all I know, but it's like they hold on to that shit of the past, like to got cars taking gasoline and shit. Like
they still do that shit.
Yeah, man.
Like, oh, here's the last son from the Shang heir and shit. He's the last one from the dynasty.
This is his bloodline.
And then he can't have kids. Like, a lot of pressure there.
Right.
A lot of pressure for you to have a kid. Carry that bloodline.
So there was so like I love this interview that was done with Hugh Newman. It was actually done by the Desert Sun. I forgot to mention that earlier. Shout out to them. So anyways, the Desert Sun journalist actually wound up asking him the question during the interview, right? He says, well, how did these, because like he had said early in the interview, like, hey, there were different tribes of giants around the world. Like I said, like desert tribes, mountain tribes, ice tribes, fire tribes, whatever. Forests, everything. Like,
you think that's why there's pyramids built all over the world? Huge pyramids?
For them?
No, like since giants were all around the world, right? Would that explain like the pyramids being all around the world too? Like let's say like aliens didn't build it, but giants were the one behind building these huge.
Yeah, helping them out because they're all built in the same type of pyramid structure. It's not like
they use the same formula.
You don't see like a one shaped like a fucking cube or anything. It's just all the same triangle shaped temple.
They didn't have cell phones or planes to say, hey, could you make sure you do the right angle this way?
We all followed the same plan. Unless the idea came off from one people.
Right.
That was
like, hey, 16 by 16, remember?
Yeah. Okay, so he talks about like I said, they asked him about Hugh Newman winds up describing about all the tribes all around the place and whatnot, and then he talks about how the interviewer asked Hugh Newman about, well, how did these tribes eventually wind up dying off, right? And he says his theory is that they just got bred out of existence. I don't really know why or how. In North America, the people that lived on the continent before Europeans arrived were decimated by smallpox, interbreeding, and lifestyle changes have contributed. So basically talking about like how just over time, certain things and genes are just certain things are just over time just like not gonna be able to hold up anymore. I guess genetically, like I was talking about before, like tallest dude in the world, he may have giant genes from old day shit, but human bodies can't handle that shit no more.
Here's the other story that I heard, like why giants were like going extinct and shit. It's because like the humans were hunting them down too.
Probably.
They were getting rid of them. I heard like this one story, I don't know what country it was, but they said that the whole village fucking chased a giant into the cave, and then they lit the cave on fire, and then they blocked off the entrance.
So basically,
and they burned like not just one giant, they burned a whole village family of giants that was in that cave.
Chilling.
Fucking dirty ass little people.
Yeah, just leave them alone. I mean, it's one of them things like
they're strong, but damn.
Yeah, I feel it's one of them things is like.
Well, maybe they were too violent. That's why they had to take them out.
I mean, you never know because it could be like the giants were probably showing up at the village, bullying people and shit. Like, hey, like, where's your wife? I'm taking her with me. Snatch her up, leaving the village with somebody's wife. Like, I never saw my wife again. Like, they took my wife, they took my daughter.
I see why they wanted to kill
them.
Like,
and they're like, because if I was that big, I'd probably be a bully too. Like, I'd be a giant walking in the village. They got like knives and shit. Like, what are you gonna do? invent like metal that can shoot out of another metal and blow us away. Like, come on, let's take it.
Fast forward to like 2000.
Fast forward to Kandahar.
Boom. They're like, what the fuck is this? Head blown off.
Why? I just got hit with a fucking knife or something. I don't know.
The hell? It's burning.
It's hot.
What is this?
Yeah, so I was like, so that could be another possibility. They just roll up in there, like there's probably being assholes.
I could see that being like an issue. Like,
And the villagers like, you know what? I know it. I was out on a walk one day, saw one of them big motherfuckers, walked into that cave right up there. I know what time they're gonna sleep too. Let's get them.
yeah, they're probably wrecking villages and
They're
shit.
probably fucking shit up. They're probably like, their numbers are so low now. It's like, what can they do? Like just but hide.
And then some, they try to make friends with them, right? And then they did make friends with the giants. But then, like, the big giants they found out end up killing them and the baby giant. They're like, no.
Take them all out.
We are not the same. You don't fuck with those people. We just fuck them, but we're not friends with them.
Yeah, really, that's all they are.
Like, if you ever watch Games of Thrones, right? Like, there's a scene where they brought, like, giants to come in to help them. Man, it's such a fucking epic-ass scene. It's so cool. They have the giant break down the fucking doors.
This is like the
And
last
then
season.
they fucking swarm. Maybe it's towards the end. Maybe season 7 or 8.
I'll watch that show one day when it's like far gone from people's memories.
Man, when you watch it, you're gonna realize like, holy shit, this was like a worldwide thing that I missed out on. But I understand now like why it was such a phenomenon.
Yeah, that's how it was when. Actually, I never even finished it. Like the TV show Lost, for example. Like that was like on top of the world at one time.
Yeah.
And everybody was talking about Lost. And then I heard how it ended, and I was like, you know what? I am not even interested in even watching Lost now because it kind of just.
Right. Yeah, Lost is good, but like Games of Thrones, different level, man. Can't even compare it. But they're both good series, but to me, Games of Thrones is a more solid series.
Okay.
Like the whole shit was good. There's some slow seasons, but it was good, man. I was so happy to come home from work to watch like 2 episodes. That was like my daily thing.
Got something to look forward to, man.
And then when it was over, I was like, man, what is life? Like, what am I supposed to do now? It's
What
hard.
am I talking about? I know the feeling. Like when you finish the show, you're like, oh, what the fuck do I do now? Like, gotta read a book. So, anyways, with Hugh Newman, he also talks about too. He talks about like, oh, so the guy in the interview asked him like, okay, you must get a lot of skepticism about this. How do you deal with skeptic people? Like people asking about bones and stuff like that. Hugh Newman talks about how he's like, basically like a lot of the bones they get sent or to the Smithsonian, they never put it on record or they never put it out on display of giants, whatever. So it's not like, okay. And I'm almost certain that, because I've been to Smithsonian before, and it's beautiful museum, but I'm pretty sure it's like government financed or whatever, or probably either being paid through taxpayer money, but either way, it's kind of like, I'm pretty sure the government has an air say of what they can and can't put out there on the floor too for display. Because
it doesn't like play like it doesn't fit in like the evolution of human.
yeah, because then
It throws like a monkey wrench into that theory.
because you got people who are really religious who don't believe in like the missing link because they don't believe in evolution at all, and then you got some people who believe in evolution and want to know what the missing link is, and this would be kind of like sparking up a whole new conversation all over again. It's like, oh well, we got giants. Y'all don't say nothing about giants, but we got one.
Yeah.
What did they come into our evolution?
They keep asking us like, why don't you tell them about those big bones? And then they'll be like, man, you guys want to write new history books? Because I don't.
Like, you know how much shit we got to change?
We have to teach the same history over and over. It's like, I'm not writing no new book.
Like, look, dinosaurs was enough. All right? So admitting that dinosaurs was enough. So I've been to Smithsonian before, and it's a beautiful place. Like, if you like museums,
What state is that in?
it's in Washington D.C.
Oh.
It's up there. It's basically near like the whole Washington
Monument thing?
like Washington Monument, all that shit. Yeah. Awesome museum. I went there years ago. I think I was like a teenager, but when I was there, I remember seeing like
About 5 years ago.
yeah, about 4 years ago.
Damn.
4. When I was there, right, they had like this skeletal structure. It looked like a fucking giant ape, but it was bigger than what an ape size would be. Like, like
So what is it?
Maybe a little bit taller than your ceiling in here.
What?
Like it was. I'll never forget it. And
Sounds
I
like
was
a big monkey.
the face, like how the facial structure was. It looked like like almost like the skeletal shape, almost looked like monkey like, but it was like just
Huge.
fucking like the Incredible Hulk, man, like just big as shit. Like I said, it's like a little bit taller than your ceiling, but they had it in a glass case. I remember seeing that when I was a teenager, and I was like, holy fuck, this has got to be like at least 14, maybe 13 feet tall, like tall as shit.
So what's the story behind that?
I just remember like, okay, well, I was about to say like, well, because I don't like, they talk about like, hey, this is like an early creature. I think on a plaque or something like there's an early creature from the prehistoric days, because it was within the prehistoric wing, because they have like different wings like here.
Yeah.
Like, here's prehistoric. We have like an exhibit full of like flight history and shit like that. So you see like Wright brothers and shit like that. First plane like Amelia Earhart shit or whatever type stuff in there. Like, but a prehistoric wing with that giant ape looking dude. And what I'm saying like was like, okay, early creature from something.
But they don't know.
But it was like just a kind of skeletal structure. And I was like, well, I looked at the teeth. I was like, well, this motherfucker clearly doesn't eat grapes. It's like he's got a teeth look crazy as shit. But I was like, okay, that's the closest I've ever seen to like a giant creature like in real life. Like as far
And
as
that was real.
and that was real as shit.
It wasn't no replica of what they think a big monkey.
Yeah,
looks
this
like.
is like, look, we put these bones together. Holy hell, he's big as shit. And he's like walking on hind legs. He's got hands and shit.
You think because maybe like you were a kid when you saw it, it was like, you know, everything is bigger when you're a kid. And it might be just a regular gorilla.
Nah,
but a big one. But
I was a teenager though. I didn't really go so much since then. So.
Yeah, makes me want to go to museums now.
It's dope, man.
Man, that's what I'm gonna make a goal to go to museums.
Just check out Smithsonian, man. I was just in DC a couple weeks ago. I should have went.
When I used to live like in LA, our field trips we always went to museums.
For real.
We went to all the museums there. We went to a museum where they had coffins of mummies and shit.
Oh shit.
It's fucking cool as fuck, man.
See, I've never been like the only time I've gone to a museum was it wasn't school. That's for damn sure. Just if it like it was either like I went on my own. Like I've gone to like art places before, like in Denver and stuff like that. But as far as museums, I think Smithsonian is like one of the first ones I've been to. That's like, it's like something my parents took me and my sisters to, because we like when we was kids or teenagers or whatnot, we used to travel a lot. So my parents were like, hey, if we're going on vacation to have fun, we want you guys to learn something too. So I was like, okay, cool, Smithsonian. And I was like, who the fuck is this Beast Wars looking Optimus Prime motherfucker?
I would have freaked out too. It's like, damn, this is all real.
It's massive, man. It's almost like, and that's what I was thinking before, just now me seeing that back then, I'm like, so if they were cool at displaying that, but they don't want to put giant shit, I'm like, is it that insane? Like, will it not fit in the building? Like, what is...
Man, then you just tell us shit, man. Like, look, we found this, we just don't know. Sorry, history class.
Or just be like, hey, we discovered this, they're giants, they're all dead.
These other beings, these aliens, we don't know either. But we did found them a long time ago.
We found them.
Here it is. It's real. We just don't know what to tell you guys.
And there's no more out there.
Cause like, you know, like speaking of like skulls, right? Like in some places they will find skulls with and the shape of the cranium was like elongated.
Yeah.
Then somebody said, oh, the reason why it's elongated because there used to be a tribe where they did like boarding, like head boarding. Where
they extend their head, yeah.
Yeah, when they were like a child, they will put two pieces of wooden boards on their head so the head could be like elongated shape, like what a alien would look like.
Yeah.
So they're saying, oh, no, that's all debunked. Those tribes were doing that. But then there's places like around the world where they had heads just like that. Mm-hmm. But then they were saying like, okay, like if that's true, right? They're saying that the mass doesn't equal to what the real skulls look like compared to a skull that's been modified. Mm-hmm. Like it just doesn't make sense how this skull has like more mass than what a human head has. Yeah. Because like the human head, you'll stretch your shit, your skull be like it's kind of thin, you know. Mm-hmm. But like on a legit elongated skull, that shit is like legit. It was made like that.
Made like that, yeah. Because I've seen pictures before too where they've discovered like skeletal babies or whatever, but with like their head's kind of like looking elongated. I'm like, that's a weird baby skeleton head, but all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah, because I know like some of them is like that, but the real ones, I think those are like the real skulls of aliens that used to walk among us, and it's those Egyptians. You know how if you look at some like paintings of Egyptians, right? They're always wearing like those long hats and shit. Yeah. And they're like, and it looked like they have elongated skulls.
They're covering the head inside of the head.
like the cone head and shit. Yeah. So I'm thinking like, okay, so God, they did walk among us. They were rulers of this earth. their empire was Egypt. They taught humans how to do all this modern shit.
Like they may look like
They
us,
taught
but
us.
like they may look like us on the outside, but the inside, skeletal wise, they don't look
and
like
then
us.
Their fucking eyes. You look at it like, damn, that's a fucking alien. Like we were ruled by aliens at one time.
And they like cats too, so maybe
Yeah.
aliens like cats or some shit. I don't know.
What's the cat called? The feral cat. That's what it's called, right? Sphinx. No, Sphinx.
Sphinx, yeah.
Yeah, the hairless cat.
God, I think a friend of mine just got one last week too.
Yeah, Jeremy said he's gonna get one too.
Oh, what's up with this? They scared the hell out of me.
I was like, what about Dogecoin? Get a Doge dog.
I mean, if we're gonna do this, go all the way, man. Yeah, because I was thinking about before too. You said like there was like reshaping the skulls. I know like some tribes too. They do this thing where like
The neck
the
extension.
neck extension
Yeah.
shit. Yeah,
With the rings and shit. They
But-
add a ring for every age, and
but I think they did it to women too. I think it's mainly women. I can't remember. But
it's weird like how they did those body modifications. But here's what I was thinking, like why that trend started in those tribes. Like especially the elongated skull. That's a weird thing for anybody to do, right?
yeah, that
So
body modification.
I was thinking they probably got influenced by like the past of like who their leaders was, so they wanted to be like gods too.
like emulate them or some
Yeah,
shit.
they wanted to imitate like whatever they saw as their leaders. Because maybe like let's say if an alien saw you with your head like that, they wouldn't kill you because they're like, oh, he's
you're
an
one of
alien.
us, yeah.
So maybe it was like they did it like that because tribes were being like wiped out by these aliens because they're normal humans.
Like, yo, we gotta conform to them.
Yeah, so they're
we're
like,
dead.
like, hey, if you want to save this baby, let's start like smushing his head. So his head will look like an alien, and he can pretend to be an alien, and then infiltrate like their empire.
I was thinking just now too. What if it was like a weird thing? How you see like a celebrity walk around wearing some kind of like clothing item that nobody has, and then that clothing item just like blows up or some shit, and it's like, all right, well, because a lot of people worship celebrities, they're like, okay, if they wear something, I want to imitate it as well too. So like they see like their gods like with elongated heads, like, yo, I'm gonna rock that long head shit.
Yeah,
and
same thing.
Sandwich it in, and
Yeah, it could be like that, or it could be like just a form of survival.
yeah, it could be that too.
So like, don't walk out in that alleyway, man. They got like aliens guarding that place.
Like, you better have the right head for that shit.
Unless you got a alien head.
Yeah, I can imagine like a lady back then, like, yo, I want that. Yo, you know that one alien beep bloop beep. I want that neck shit. I want my
want
neck
that
like
long neck.
I want that long neck just like her.
I bet you they did like walked around with long necks too, because like some of the sculptures that I saw like in Japan, where they had a tomb in Japan where they uncovered it and then they saw like little sculptures of alien looking type of creatures with like long necks, and they look like lizards.
Hey.
I was like, what are you doing, Japan?
Well, y'all always changing this shit up.
Like, why your shit look like everybody else shit? Like ancient weird stuff like that. So you already know, like us in the past, it was some crazy shit going on.
Some wild shit.
Somebody had to clean all that up.
Somebody, I want to shake that person's hand.
Speaking of like cleaning up, right? Like there's like ancient sites like in Iraq, like huge temple monuments and shit too. And that place was like destroyed, like physically, like by human hands, like trying to hide it. Trying to hide like, hey, Iraq, they had fucking ancient shit here, like pyramid style.
And they tore it apart?
They tore the whole shit apart. It's like
I'm
they
surprised.
blasted and everything, and they destroyed like ancient shit. It looks like Egyptian writing too, and like they had what's those shit? Those scriptures with the pyramid. I mean, like the owl. What they call those?
Oh, the
Hieroglyph.
hieroglyphs, yeah.
Yeah, like hieroglyphs on the stones, and they were destroying it, like trying to like cover up something.
I'm not surprised, man. I'm not even surprised even by a little bit, because it's just sometimes, man, they just want to just blow shit up. Like, don't leave that past behind. Like, you just getting rid of shit, man.
Yeah, because Iraq, like they're known. Like the rumor is, Iraq is known to have a secret Stargate portal,
I believe it. It's so that
like a natural one.
that desert out there is so endless. I wouldn't be surprised if they was like, yo, the mothership of all aliens is underneath this desert. I'd be like, I believe it, because it's just a lot of nothing out there.
Yeah, they said that they discovered like some type of portal over there, and like the portal, right, like on the edges of the ring of that portal, it has a whole bunch of like hieroglyphs on it. That's how like the people that were like digging up the place, that's how they described it and shit. So I guess like maybe like the government found out, and then they're like, hey, We gotta fucking get this fucking
Keep it under wraps.
wrap up that portal. We're taking it back to Utah.
The government, like, I think it's still out there because it'd be one of the things the government be like, look, if we move it, we might break it. So
Yeah.
we'll just build like a town over top of this shit or something.
Robert says they have an ancient spaceship under the pyramids. They probably do.
I think it's all over the planet.
I was like, man, I had a dream one time where like if you went to Egypt, the pyramids were gone. Like they just vanished. I was like, holy shit.
Just snatched them up.
Somebody used the damn pyramids as a spaceship and they took off from Egypt. I was like, okay, I'll explain this now, guys.
Please.
And then people was like fucking typing in the comments, oh, that's CGI. And people were like, man, we live here. It's gone.
Like, this shit is not here.
That shit is really gone. That'd be cool, man. That'll shake up the whole world.
Oh, man, it'd be too much. The world can't even handle the shit that we got right now. I don't know if it can handle UFOs, man, the ships.
We can handle UFOs. I think we're ready.
We can. We can.
No, I think the world, I don't really think they care no more.
I think people be more accepting of it now than, I would say, 40, 50 years ago. Because, this day and age, 2021, people seem more acceptable. Like, oh, fuck UFOs. And back then, I think you would get more ridicule for believing in UFOs. Like,
Yeah, I remember.
nowadays, it's like, oh, fuck yeah, we got a whole fucking Facebook page that you can join. Like, got a whole group if you believe in this shit.
Well, speaking of UFOs, like, well, not UFOs, but a couple weeks ago, Egypt, they did like a damn parade celebration where they had like the tombs of kings and gods or whatever, like in like the back of a car, and they all drove them through like the city of Egypt.
They drove the bodies of the coffins and that?
Yeah, they drove like the coffins, but it was
Man, they crazy.
it was a huge celebration. Like they had bands, they had music, dancing. It was like something you see on Aladdin, like like a party in the city. And I was watching, and then everything was filmed like 4K crispy. I was like, this is like some high production shit. Like it looked like the Oscars, like for Egyptians and shit. And then like when I saw that, I had like a weird feeling. I was like, did the gods came back and they're taking over now? Like, is that a celebration of like, hey, we're back. You guys kind of messed up, but we're gonna fix things now.
Back streets back, all right.
Yeah.
Like they're out there. I was thinking the same thing. Like, are they planning a return or are they?
They here.
It sounds like some kind of they back, guys. Celebrate.
It's like, oh shit, they're all back because there's so much UFO like footage now. Like if you look on Instagram, it's like almost endless now. You will see
Non-stop, man.
a whole bunch of like flying orbs. I don't know, like 10, 20, 30 of them just flying across, and then they're like, hey, are these drones or aliens? Like they're so confused. I was like, damn, if they're coming here like in bunches like that, and they're not even trying to hide, you already know they're here, man.
I'm starting to get to the point. I'm starting to get desensitized to it. I'm like, you know what, they're here. I'm like a part of me is like accepted. I'm like, all right, they've always been here, but now they just kind of like, just flexing a little bit.
I'm waiting for all that shit to be like confirmed 100%. Like,
That they come down like, what's that movie? I always want to call this shit fucking Signs, and that's not what it's called. The language alien movie. They trying to talk to him. Arrival. That shit. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I want.
No, it's not going to be that peaceful.
No, it's not, though. This is going to be so much more worse.
Because if you listen to like any of the stories of how they tortured these aliens, if that's true that they did these crazy torture on them, you bet your ass
They coming for us.
They're here with the heat.
They coming for us. That's like with William Cooper wrote in his book, Behold a Pale Horse. He's talking about they had a gray at Area 51. They had him interrogated. They was interrogating his ass for like forever.
Yeah.
But the gray was there for so long, he started picking up like human mannerisms, and he started lying at one point.
Whoa.
Because I guess like the humans would like tell him something, and he'd be like, okay, like he started learning like, hey, they're lying to me about I'm gonna be free or whatever. I guess that's what he was saying. The gray started realizing like, I guess like the G-man, whoever was interviewing this gray, would tell him like, hey, look, you tell us what you want to know, like tell us what we want to know, help you get back to your home planet. And then over time, he started realizing like they're lying to me, so I'm gonna have to learn how to lie. And then the gray started lying back to them doing interrogations. And I think they just want to eventually wind up killing his ass.
Damn, fuck those, man.
Just
Not
dump
the
his
gray.
ass.
Fuck whoever killed them.
So they coming for us if that's the case.
Yep. They're like, damn, like humans are these vicious and savages. They
Yes,
will fucking
I believe it 1,000%. You know why? Because we do it to ourselves. So if we're gonna do it to ourselves, we're definitely gonna do it to somebody who ain't even from this fucking planet. So I don't know. Hey, UFOs, y'all out there? Me and my family, everybody I love, we all come with you. Like we want no problems. Just
You want to know how you really see them?
no.
Take shrooms.
I knew he was gonna say. I knew he was gonna say
Speaking
this.
of shrooms, right? You know Graham Hancock? He's like a kind of like archaeologist, scientist guy.
Okay.
Really smart guy. And like his world went upside down when he took like psychedelics for the first time. He took like ayahuasca, and he said like he went to like the 7th level of heaven, right? Where he saw aliens, the gray aliens there. And he said that the gray aliens, like they were here to like have sex with humans on Earth, like modified their DNA. And if you think about that now, that might be like it could be like we're just like a product of
them.
an alien DNA project.
It could be. Just one big ass lab experiment, but on a global level, like
Yeah.
like a petri dish, but on a planet.
Like clean up the humans, stop making them so big.
Fuck, why they got 6 fingers? No, we said 5. Wipe them out.
You know how I know like giants were real?
What's that?
If you look at a lot of the ancient monuments and you look at the doorways
Big as shit.
are always big.
It's always huge, man. All the time. It's never like no.
Huge doorways.
It's not even like the door frame is not even like, what is that, 8 feet? It's not even that tall. It's like fucking massive.
Right. It didn't make sense for them back then to make big doorways. And on top of that, they're using really heavy rocks and everything.
Unless they was able to do it with some giant strength or some shit.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense for little people like us to create something so big when we didn't have the technology yet. Yeah. All we had was rope and muscle. And why are we making stuff that big?
Like it wouldn't even make sense from even a logical standpoint. It's like, okay, you're this tall. Why would you put extra work in to make something that big?
Yeah.
Unless,
like for what? Do you even know how to make a ladder?
Or do they do it for you?
Yeah. Do you
Get
have
tall shit for you?
Do you have access to a crane? No, nothing, no modern machinery, supposedly. But I think like whatever, if they were using some type of like technology, it's something like we don't even understand till this day. Maybe like the government, they know now, like how they did it. I'm pretty sure they know. They know everything.
Yeah, they're not gonna tell us so.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, they easily built that. Like we can do that like with something the shape of a pen and use it to manipulate like gravity.
They're gonna be like, oh, you know what? The Egyptians built the pyramids, and we'll just leave it at that. Boom.
Yep. So yeah, they use their muscles, and
yes, they're really that strong.
that's the story we're sticking by.
No, I can see that because like you gotta think like the Egyptian Empire was fucking extremely powerful back then too. What if
You mean the alien empire?
with the alien?
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think of the best way. Like the Egyptian Empire that worship aliens or whatever. The alien Empire.
Egyptians, if you say it slowly, is Elion.
Egyptians.
Elion, even slower, Elon. Elon is the descendant of the alien, but he doesn't realize it yet.
I believe that.
Elon, the thing is, Elon is he's not aware that he is one of them. He's so clueless too. He really don't believe in aliens at all.
He doesn't believe in aliens?
Not even a little bit.
Holy shit. I would never have guessed that.
Yeah, he's like a logical guy. Like his mind is here on the ground. Like if you ask him about aliens, if they're real, he's like, no, I never seen them. I don't see no proof of them.
I think believing in aliens is more logical than not believing in them. Just based off of like, if this universe is really that big, theoretically, it can't just be us out there. Like on mathematically, it can't be just little old blue Earth. And if it is, that sucks. This is a lonely,
because you know, like
universe.
He has like the SpaceX program, right? So Joe Rogan asked him, it's like, do you guys ever see anything out there? He was like, no. And then he was like, if there's aliens, he said, we will be the first ones to see it. Because he is sending out spaceships to like outer space.
Fucking left and right.
But here's the funny story. Like last week when they did that SpaceX launch, they were nearby like an unknown object flying like near the spaceship. And you could hear like the people like in the space station, they were kind of scared, like, wait, what the hell is going on? Like, oh yeah, we're coming across something that's like not like they couldn't identify what was near the ship.
Yeah.
And they thought that was weird. So I think now Elon, he went back and looked at it. I was like, what is that? Like, are there really aliens now? Or
So is he questioning? Is he questioning it now, or is he
I think he
still-
is questioning it ever since that launch. It's either last week or a week before that.
Yeah, like 2 weeks.
But
ago.
if you looked it up on YouTube, like they did come across like an unknown object that was flying near the spaceship.
I missed that launch too. I gotta watch that.
Yeah, they couldn't explain it. They had no answers. So I was like, Elon, you better check those tapes.
So it's an unidentified flying object. That's, if anything, it's that. Now, what if it's aliens?
Yeah.
We don't know, but
Yep.
shit, man, that is amazing. I did not know that, man. He's not a believer.
Yeah, for him it just doesn't
shit.
it doesn't make sense because they're like, okay, well then they're subtle about it. They're not making it known.
Hey, they're
I mean,
good at it.
that's how he's able to do like accomplish everything that he did because he's not distracted by like trying
the
to
little shit. Like,
think about like, hey, do God exist? Do aliens exist? It's like, no, I'm gonna build spaceships.
I exist. I know what I can do,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna send as many people as I can to Mars.
And then the whole time I was listening to it, I was like, man, put him on a psychedelic trip one time. And then he's gonna come out and be like, what the hell?
And he's gonna step down. From,
What the hell? I'm a god?
He's gonna step down from. He's gonna step down from Tesla and all that shit.
He's gonna come out wearing a robe. It's like, this is my true path right here. I'm already living it.
He's like, I'm you guys' god
No, did he realize like he was groomed his whole life?
for this
He
moment.
was groomed for greatness already in his name, Elon.
Elon,
Elion.
Alien Guns.
Egyptians.
I was about to say Alien Gonzalez, but yeah.
Fuck, man, that's like modern day God walking among us, but he doesn't realize it yet. You heard it here first.
Did you watch SNL this weekend?
I didn't. I don't have cable.
You can watch it on YouTube. But Elon was on it doing sketches.
Yeah, yeah.
It was alright.
Man,
It
I
was-
went to sleep, man. But
You didn't miss
if I was
nothing.
watching it, man, I would have been trading at the same time.
It's true. Yeah, I was reading some stories at the same time, like just on Reddit. People were like watching that shit like a hawk. Somebody on Reddit put like up a chart of seeing how Dogecoin was going the whole time.
By what he was saying on the show.
It like even like doing like moments of like specific like comedy segments that he would do, and it's like, okay, it went up on this one, went down, went up, then
Yeah.
it dropped, and then da-da-da-da.
That shit was like a dance, man. A lot of people made money that night.
Yeah.
Doing it like that. The people that didn't make money is the people that didn't know how to trade it like that.
Yeah, because they said it dropped down like 6% or some shit. 30%.
Yeah, it dropped like fucking. I saw it hit like 40 cents like in the morning. I was like, fuck.
Yeah,
I missed out on the whole action.
yeah, I was watching it and I was like, okay. After my favorite part of SNL, because SNL is kind of whatever to me, but it can be funny to me sometimes, hit or miss. But after they did like the weekend update segment, that's when it dropped all the way down. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's all the way back up though.
Yeah,
Huh?
it's fine, stabilizing.
I don't like it. I like it moving though.
Yeah. Crazy, yeah.
I like it moving.
Elon, man. Like, I think Elon's really trying to take it to Mars first because he wants something named after him once we colonize it.
I don't think he really cares about
The
that.
city of Elon, the capital of Mars is Elon.
Echelon.
That shit sounds dope as shit to me, though.
To Echelon with Dogecoin.
Elon. Or Dark Angel.
Speaking of Dogecoin, like Elon on Twitter, he said that it's like, hey, do you guys want to buy Teslas using Dogecoin? I was like, yes.
Please and when.
Boom, spike.
That's all it takes,
Spike
man.
in the market. It's like, damn, yeah. Because I was thinking that too. Like, dude, you say Bitcoin's accepted. Like, take Dogecoin too.
Yeah, okay, take it all, man. If it has value, take it.
Take it, man. The day that I buy a Tesla with Doge, that's when we know the world's gonna end.
Like, this shit's about to explode.
It's like, nope, you're not having your fun. Nope,
We're giving you 24 hours.
too close.
We give you 24 hours to enjoy this Tesla.
Boom,
And then the sun's going to burn out tomorrow.
lights off.
Like, no more solar energy. You're done.
You got anything else?
I'm good, man. That's about
This
it.
was a pretty good episode. We actually killed it.
Yeah, we had some people show up and then boom.
The chat was really quiet.
Yeah, for once. That's been a while since it's been this quiet.
We were solid too. We ran the whole show nonstop, no breaks.
No breaks. And I got a pee too. And I held it.
Yep, talked the whole time.
Like a big boy, I held it.
Like how many people you know that can carry a conversation for like almost 2 hours? Not a lot.
Probably somebody just did coke, I guess. I don't know.
Well, they got to be like, interesting too, like
Yeah.
something interesting.
True.
Not like, hey,
Not like our shit.
what's your favorite color? Done. That conversation dead.
Rap. It's a rap.
Dead.
Maybe if two people talking about how, like, if they work at the same place, how much they hated their job. That shit could probably.
I hate that talk.
Outside of work, I leave it there.
Yep.
I've been out of work for a week now.
Yeah.
I have not thought about that place. This is the first time I thought about it today. This is the first time.
So when do you go back?
Next Monday.
Fuck.
Yeah, and everybody, I feel like I'm being stretched thin because I'm like, everybody's like, this is last week. What are you gonna do? Like, you need to come see me. And I'm like,
what are you gonna do? Apex Legends.
Yes, that's definitely on the schedule though.
Arenas right now.
Yes.
I'm jumping on after this.
Seriously?
Yep.
Okay, I'll be on. Actually, don't wait for me, man. I got stuff in my fucking parents' house. No! I just remembered.
I'm gonna play until I can't play no more.
Okay.
All right, so next week, episode 55. I want to kind of do like human cloning.
Okay.
Because there's so much stuff about that. And I know like a lot of stuff is like fake too. But a lot of stuff that I came across a long time ago, it seemed kind of like it might. I think cloning is going down. Like it's been going down.
Back at it, baby.
So maybe we'll do like human cloning because that's
I'm down for that.
Touchy topic.
Hey, I'm with it. Just so y'all know. But
Yep.
Let's get it.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us today. Peace out. Adios. Oh, wait, hold on. Make sure you guys rate and subscribe.
Please.
Before you clock out. All right, guys. Peace out. Adios.
See ya.